Zombie apocalypse.
I tried hard in human school. Also, 3 years ago, Kai was serving at my father's right hand. He was the one teaching me instead of those human teachers. Uh, I don't think so. Maybe 3 years ago. Suddenly not remembering what happened 3 years ago. Tell me what happened 3 years ago. 3 years ago. I should remember, but it's all a bit fuzzy. Rin glanced over her shoulder, the tension in her shoulders melting into an awkward fidget. She chewed on her lip, her silver hair catching the sunlight as it swayed in the breeze. I'm assuming that the writing had changed after they had already done the drawings, because the little lovely girl here has brown hair, but we'll roll with it. Forget I said anything. I'm probably just being weird. Yeah, that's it. Weird. Rin, wait! Before I could take a step forward, Rin turned abruptly, her small frame a blur as she darted down the street. The fox-shaped earrings bounced with each hurried step, and soon she was nothing but a flicker of silver disappearing into the distance. Rin, wait! The only response was the faint echo of her sneakers on the pavement, swallowed by the stillness of the evening. What just happened? The house welcomed me with a comforting quiet. A familiar scent of lavender and faintly burnt coffee lingered in the air. I kicked off my shoes, my mind still buzzing with questions about Rin before noticing the note on the living room table. Going to work. Love you. My lips curved into a soft smile as I traced the hastily scrawled heart at the end of the note. I went back to my desk, sat down, my fingers brushing over the keyboard as I tried to focus on the words waiting to be written. But thoughts wouldn't come. Rin's silver hair and strange words flitted through my mind, tangled with vague unease I couldn't shake. 3 years ago. What was so important about that? And why couldn't I remember? I shook my head, muttering, Focus, you're behind on deadline already. I heard the sound of the door unlocking. Kai smiled as he stepped inside, brushing imaginary dirt off his clothes. Working hard or hardly working? You're back. Thought I'd come home for lunch. What's cooking good looking? Nothing yet. You're helping me. About today? No, I was just out of my mind. I'm still confused, but I think I trust you, Kai. Okay, tell me if there's anything bothering you. Checked in the fridge before, and there was absolutely nothing I could work with. We're going grocery shopping. Kai was unusually chipper as he walked through the grocery store, pushing the cart with a bounce in his step. Followed behind him, trying to focus on the list in my hand, but something about him seemed off. I wasn't anything obvious, just a subtle feeling that made my skin prickle. He veered into the snack aisle, grabbing a bag of chips and tossing it into the cart without a second thought. That's not on the list. It's an essential. For what? A movie marathon? Exactly. Shook my head, stepping closer to the cart. For a moment, the bag of chips seemed to flicker, just for a split second, like it wasn't really there. I blinked and it was back, sitting in the cart like nothing had happened. Weird. What's weird? Nothing. Probably just tired. He didn't press, instead turning his attention to a shelf of ramen. You know, I could live off this stuff. You practically do. I should get some. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll get him some noodles, because he said he wanted some noodles. When I glanced back, the chips were gone. Kai, where's the bag of chips you just put in here? What do you mean? It's right. He stopped staring at the empty spot in the cart. His brows furrowed, and for a second I thought I saw something in his eyes. Worry? Guilt? Huh? Must have put it back without realizing. Weird. You don't forget snacks, ever. He laughed nervously. Maybe I'm losing my touch. Should I grab another one? No, it's fine. Let's just stick to the list. He nodded, but I noticed how he avoided my gaze, his usual carefree demeanor slipping just slightly. We moved to the produce section, where he picked up an apple and spun it in his hand like a magician, with a trick. That one's got potential. Look at that shine. I'm sure. I glanced at the cart again, but this time it wasn't the chips that were gone. It was the instant noodles I had just placed there. My heart skipped a beat. Kai, did you take the instant noodles out? Instant noodles? No, why would I? Stared at the cart, my stomach twisting. Swear I just put them in there. Kai reached over, placing a hand on my shoulder. Hey, you okay? You seem distracted. Yeah, just tired, I said, probably imagining things. His hand lingered for a moment before pulling away, his expression soft but unreadable. Why don't you just stay here and take a breath? I'll grab the last few things. You sure? You're not exactly great at following the list. I'll do my best. Stay here. I nodded, leaning against the cart as he walked away. My eyes followed him, and for a second, just a second, his figure seemed to blur like heat waves rising off the asphalt. Blinked hard, and he was back to normal, casually strolling down the aisle. We're together. When he turned, when he returned, the cart was full, and his usual cheerful demeanor was back in full force. Look, I even got the right kind of milk this time. Congratulations, you're learning. We headed to the checkout, and the strange occurrences faded into the background. Almost. There was still a nagging feeling in the back of my mind, like a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. Next to me, he whispered, not to me, but I suppose to himself, my illusions. Are they fading? I watched him look at his hands with deep thoughts in his mind. Hi? He glanced at me and immediately straightened his thoughts. Yes, I'm here. Let's go. As we left the store, Kai slung an arm over my shoulders, his touch warm and grounding. Kai insisted we go for a walk to clear out our heads. The stars were out, and the cool air carried the faint scent of earth and leaves. It should have been romantic, but my thoughts would have been quiet. Kai tugged at my hand gently, his grip firm enough to guide me, but soft enough to feel like a question. The woods around us were quiet, save for the rustle of leaves underfoot and the occasional chirp of unseen insects. There's something I want to show you. Something different. Different? How? Different as in, wow, so romantic, or different as in, oops, I might lead you to a lair of a bear? I snorted, a rare, genuine sound that tugged at my chest. If there's a bear, I'll wrestle it for you, but no, it's a, wow, so romantic kind of thing. Probably. His laughter echoed softly. I couldn't help but smile. He always had a way of making the world feel lighter, like he could bend reality with a joke or a grin. Just trust me, if you don't like it, I'll owe you big time. Breakfast in bed, foot rubs, whatever you want. I'm keeping that in mind. We walked deeper into the woods, moonlight playing tricks with the shadows. Do you ever think about how weird it is to trust someone completely? Like, I could lead you anywhere right now and you'd follow me. Don't get too cocky. I'm mostly following you because it's dark and you have better night vision than I do. Sure. That's the only reason. There was a flicker of something in his tone, something almost wistful, but it was gone before I could name it. All right, so where are you leading me? I'm obviously leading you to enclose you in a pit for eternity. I'm choking. Why are you giving me that look? Almost like you don't trust your amazing boyfriend. He raised his hand to his heart dramatically as if he got stabbed. We're almost there. He stopped abruptly, his hands slipping from mine. For a brief moment, I felt unmoored, the absence of his touch more jarring than I had expected. Close your eyes. What? No, I like knowing where I'm going. Come on, humor me just for a second. I gave him a skeptical look, but he was already standing in front of me, his hands lightly brushing my arms. I won't let you trip, promise. With a reluctant sigh, I closed my eyes. His hands moved to my shoulders, steadying me as he guided me forward. Each step felt longer, heavier, like the world was holding its breath. Okay, open them. I blinked again, the sudden light of the moon flittering. Sorry, sudden light of the moon filtering through a break in the trees. In front of us was a small clearing where wildflowers blanketed the ground in soft purples and whites. A small weathered shrine stood at the center, its stone surface etched with patterns I couldn't decipher. A thin streak trickled nearby, its sound harmonizing with the rustling leaves. Oh, it's not much, but thought you'd like it. I turned to him, the moonlight catching his hair, softening his features. He looked different from the conversation we had today with Rin and everything. It felt as if there was a complete 360 degrees from when I had expected that he was lying. He caught me off guard. I used to come here when I was younger, back when I thought the world was too loud and didn't have room for me. This place, it felt like it did. Stepped closer to the shrine, running my fingers over the rough stone. Carvings were intricate, almost alive under my touch. It's beautiful, like it doesn't belong in this world. Maybe it doesn't, but neither do you. I looked back at him, startled. He smiled softly, but there was something else there, something fragile, like he wasn't sure how I had to respond. That's a strange way to compliment someone. He stepped closer, his hand brushing mine before he caught it, his fingers threading through mine again. Kai, where did you say you grew up? He paused, glancing away before answering. A small town near Akigawa Valley. The words came easily, but something about the way he said them made my stomach twist. And why did you move? You know why? For work. Then why did you tell me you came here when you were younger? I came here a lot as a kid. My parents worked here. His hand brushed mine, grounding me for just a moment. Maybe I was overthinking. But then his eyes caught the moonlight, and for the briefest second, they shimmered like amber. So weird, Kai. Takes one to know one. He rustled his cheek against my hair, his hand squeezing mine gently. The words around us faded into background. The stars, the shrine, the woods, all of it eclipsed by the steady rhythm of his breathing, the quiet hum of his presence. I think, I think if I ever lost this place, it'd be okay, as long as I still had you. We walked back to the way we came from. You're awfully quiet tonight. Was I? No, you talked quite a lot, but I feel like you're not completely here with me. Just thinking. About what? I looked up at him, searching his face for answers. His smile faltered for just a second. Hey, I need you to trust me, okay? The woods grew quieter as we walked, soft crunch of leaves beneath our feet, blending with the faint hum of crickets. Kai's hand brushed against mine. I glanced at him. He looked at me curiously, his head tilted slightly. What's on your mind? Something weird happened earlier? Kai slowed his pace, his hands slipping into his jacket pockets, the moonlight flittering through the branches, highlighting the puzzled look on his face. Weird how? There was this girl. Rin? She seemed off. Kai stopped, walking his eyebrows, furrowing slightly as he turned to face me. His expression was unreadable, his eyes searching mine. Rin? Out here? Yeah, she seemed scared, like something was chasing her, or maybe she was just running from something. Kai's gaze shifted towards the woods, his jaw tightening slightly. If she was scared, maybe it's something you shouldn't get involved with. The firmness of his tone caught me off guard. I stopped too, frowning at him. Why would you say that? Because sometimes people carry things they don't really want to share. Pressing them might only make it worse. I need to find that girl later and see what she's scared of. The way he spoke, deliberate and careful, sent a ripple of unease through me. It didn't feel like he was just talking about Rin. It felt like he was talking about himself. He reached for my hand instinctively, his touch grounding me. I forced a smile. Yeah, probably. Also, what I said about you trusting me, maybe I can't ask you too much about that, but could you please believe me? Could I ask you to stay with me? Thought in my mind for a moment, would I like to stay with Kai? Um, sure, I guess. I'm wanting to like play this out and see how it all, like what's going on. Don't tell me the answer now. I'm scared to hear it. Let's go back home. You must be tired. And there I was, asleep again, dreaming about the moments of my childhood. Sat on the streets again, next to the little pillow and box I left for the fox, my legs dangling over the edge. The nights seemed the night stretched endlessly above me, stars scattered like freckles across the deep blue sky. Beside me, the small fox curled up in its fur tangled and dusty, but its eyes sharp and curious. We've known each other for 5 days. I've never missed a single day where I don't visit him. Here, not much, but it's better than nothing, right? The fox's nose twitched as it chewed, ears flicking at the sound of my voice. I leaned back on my hands, feeling the rough concrete scrape against my palms. You're not picky. I like that about you. Me, I can't even decide what to eat half the time, or what to say, or what to do with my life. The fox tilted his head, its gaze fixed on me like it actually understood. I laughed quietly, but it came out more like a breath. Miss Porter said I need to apply myself. What does that even mean? I stayed up all night cramming for that stupid test, and I still bombed it like always. Fox crept closer, his paws barely making a sound. It rested his head lightly on my knee, and the warmth of it felt steadier than anything I had all day. As my mom, she doesn't get it. She keeps saying, "You're smarter than this," like that's supposed to help. It doesn't. It just makes you feel worse. Like maybe I'm not smart enough, or maybe I'll never be enough. I sighed and leaned back, farther, letting my shoulders slump. The rain above swirled in patterns. Couldn't name and wonder if they had ever felt lost too. You're lucky, you know? No tests, no expectations, no one breathing down your neck, just you and the wind and whatever this is we're doing. Fox let out a soft sound, something between a whimper and a sigh, then nudged my hand with his nose. I smiled and ran my finger through its fur, careful not to press too hard. Bet you don't even care if I get another bad grade, or if I forget to text someone back, or if I just want to sit there and talk to a fox instead of people. The fox licked my fingers gentle and quick, like it didn't want me to feel alone. My chest ached in that strange, hollow way that felt both better and worse at the same time. Yeah, I knew you'd understand. Probably the best listener I've ever met. I scratched behind its ears, and its eyes closed, as if this moment was enough. As if I was enough. The fox's ears twitched, but it stayed close, leaning into my touch. I want to keep it there forever, but I knew better. I'll come back tomorrow. And the day after. I promise. Fox looked up at me, its tail flicking lightly. I felt the promise settle inside me, warm and solid. I patted its head one last time before I stood up and brushing dust off my jeans. Don't forget me, okay? Not that you would. You're too smart for that. I climbed down the ladder, and when I glanced back up, the fox was still there, watching. It didn't move until I had disappeared from view, and even then, I had hoped it wouldn't leave. Not yet. Hey, let me call you Kai from now on. The morning sunlight filtered weakly through the curtains. Not the usual warmth of the day was absent. The house felt too quiet. I glanced at the clock on the wall. Kai shouldn't have left for work yet. Kai? Are you here? There was no answer. My chest tightened as I searched the house, his absence pressing against me like a weight. His jacket was gone, but his shoes were still on the floor. Well, still on the door. Yeah, his shoes were still by the door. Sometimes I can't read. Where'd you go? My eyes fell on the cork board, the note from last night, going to work. Love you, was still pinned there, mocking me with its normalcy. I burst out of my small apartment and ran with all my strength. I went faster and faster. I knew where I was going, the place that Kai led me last night. Shrine in the woods. The woods were darker than they should have been, the trees casting long shadows despite the sunlight filtering through the canopy. I moved cautiously, calling Kai's name in the stillness. Kai, this isn't funny. If you're messing with me, you win. Just come out. The only response was the rustle of leaves in the wind. A chill crawled down my spine. The further I went down, the darker the woods became. The air felt heavier, thick with something I couldn't name. Then I saw it, a small ancient shrine hidden among the trees. Its stone surface was cracked and worn, moss creeping over its edges like a second skin. My breath hitched as I stepped closer. There was an energy here, palpable and strange. It hummed in the air, making my skin prickle. Scattered around the shrine were old notes and papers, their edges curled and yellowed with age. I crouched down, picking one up from trembling hands. Then I stumbled upon the creaky wooden wall of the shrine. My vision was fading. I blacked out. Hi! Hi! I raced my steps to catch the little fox, my best friend now. This was my 8th day feeding him and taking care of him. But something was wrong. Kai's body tensed, his tail low and stiff. His eyes darted around wide and alert. He looked scared, not of me, but of something I couldn't see. Hey, what's wrong? It's just me. I knelt, reaching out slowly, but Kai stepped back, paws scraping nervously against the pavement. My chest tightened. Kai, it's okay, I'm here. Don't do this. Kai's ears twitched, and for a moment he looked at me, really looked like he wanted to trust me but couldn't ignore whatever fear he had gripped. Then he turned his small body and trembling as he took another look, stepped away. No, wait, please don't go. But his tail flicked, and before I could move, he bolted. My breath hitched as I watched him disappear down the alley, leaving me standing there, heart pounding and empty. That was the last time I saw him. When I came back on the 9th day, he was nowhere to be found. The only trace for him was the food and pillows I left for him. I gasped heavily as I woke up, still in the shrine. Papers nearby or journals on the desk. Let's start with the papers. I picked up the scattered piece of paper on the floor. A lot of those were messily written and scrawled out rushed. The kitsune, guardian of the spirit, would be able to shift between human and fox forms. The words blurred as my mind raced. My blood ran cold as I skimmed further. They protect, but they're hunted too, able to create illusions, making moments that had never existed before. The realization hit me like a tidal wave, my breath catching in my throat. Journals on the desk. The books on the desk in the poorly maintained area of the shrine attracted me. I had a feeling they had to do something with me. I skimmed through most of the words. Guy Yamaori, age unknown, seemingly strong fox spirit that had just regained the status of a nine-tailed kitsune. Status, very dangerous. I continued to skim through it. It's good. Is good friends with the old kitsune leader and is expected to become the leader of the tribe one day. Currently messing around in Tokyo with a normal citizen named Zuzu. I felt sick, but I continued. On the 3rd of January, the operation of sealing him will begin. This is because he is expected to visit the shrines for Atsuno mode, which is enclosed in the woods, and the exorcist will gather and put spiritual seals and charms over him. This is the end of Hayama Ori, the rotten fox that has decided to plague the beautiful land of Japan. Having gathered all the information I could, I stood up, my mind reeling with what I had just read. Help him or get him sealed. We're not going to kill him over this. We're going to go ahead and help him. I stumbled outside the shrine. I was greeted with Kai, standing amidst the chaos of glowing seals and spiritual energy. His back was to me, his shoulders tense. The faint amber glow of his eyes reflected off the shrine's cracked surface as he turned to look at me. His gaze softened instantly, a mix of guilt and longing flickering across his face. You came. I stepped closer, my hands trembling, unsure of what to say. The truth of what he was, the illusions, the memories, everything had shaken me. I still trust you, or I'm disappointed. I would say that I'm a little bit disappointed that you lied, bro. Trusted you so much, you know? I was so disappointed when I realized. It broke my heart. He looked down, his expression twisting with regret. Never meant for it to go this far. I just wanted you to look at me the way you do now, to want me even if you knew the truth. Couldn't stand the thought of losing you, even if it meant weaving a world of lies. I just wanted to stay by your side. You're an idiot. He smiled at me. You're always so good with words. I'm an idiot too. You came to me because you're you. And the reason I like you is because you're you. And who you are is someone who's an idiot. What are you trying to say? I love you. He gently held my hands, his eyes glowing. Oh, by the way, exorcist? I know, those batch of fools. And I'm where you don't need to be. The ground beneath us trembled as the exorcists emerged from the trees, their chants growing louder. The seals around the shrine flared brighter, their light harsh and unforgiving. I tricked the love of my life. How hard would it be to make some conspiracy theorists forget my existence? The chants died down, the footsteps becoming arrayed and frantic. I just wanted to see if you would come to warn me. I was too guilty to tell you the truth. I paused for a while, letting the silence sink in between us. A relieved sigh came from my lips. Despite everything, we had just avoided a dangerous fate. What's after this? What do you mean? All right, so are you coming back? Or I just want to hear my boyfriend's plans? I mean, I wouldn't call him my boyfriend after all of the lying. I mean, he didn't. I don't know. There's some of it. It's just I'm torn, guys. So, are you coming back? Well, if you want me to come back, fresh new beginning. And the other day we went to the grocery. Mm-hmm. You brought enough bread for the two of us, and the due date is in 3 days, and you won't be able to finish it all yourself. So you should come help me eat. Right. His face glowed with hopefulness. Following weeks were peaceful. I returned to the quiet domesticity we had built together. Kai, ever the mischievous charmer, seemed lighter now, less burdened, more at ease, and yet he didn't forget the responsibilities he had left behind. So, Rin's coming over today. You mean the fox girl who was cursing your name in the street? How'd you convince her? I promised her I'd actually start teaching her again. Plus, I may have bribed her with snacks. You're crazy. Kai pulled me close, his arms wrapping around me in a warm embrace. And yet, you love me anyway. Don't let it go to your head. Later, I watched from the porch as Kai sat cross-legged on the grass, patiently explaining something to Rin. Her fox-shaped ears glisten glinted in the setting sun as she scribbled notes furiously, her brows furrowed in concentration. This would be easier if you weren't so bad at explaining things. Hey, watch it, kid. I'm doing you a favor here. You owe me. You skipped out on years of lessons. I laughed, the sound light and free, before ruffling her hair. No, no, no. You're explaining it all wrong. Or maybe you're just not paying attention. I don't know how you've ever become a teacher. Pure charm, obviously. I leaned against the doorframe, smiling as I watched them bicker. Rin caught my eye and waved enthusiastically. Hey, Zuzu! Tell him he's a terrible teacher. Don't listen to her. She's just mad I'm better at illusions than she is. Rin waved her arm furiously. All right, all right. I'll make it up to you. We'll start with the basics and work our way up. Deal? Deal. But no more running off, okay? I glanced back at me, his amber eyes glowing softly in the fading light. No more running. I've got everything I need right here. That night, as we lay tangled together in the quiet of our room, I traced slow, lazy patterns on my arm. You know, I think this is the first time in forever, really, that I've felt like I belong somewhere. You've always belonged, you just didn't see it. Kai pressed a kiss to my temple, his voice a low murmur against my skin. I see it now, and it's because of you. I tilted my head to look at him, my heart swelling at the warmth of his eyes. As I rested my head against his chest, the steady rhythm of his heartbeat lulled me into a peaceful haze. For the first time, the future felt wide, open, filled with endless possibilities. Ending one, happily ever after. All right, so considering the length that we are sitting at right now, lovelies, I'm gonna actually say if you want to see any of the other endings, that I will put out more parts. But I really liked it. This was a little cute story. It definitely kept me entertained with all of the little twists and turns and trying to figure out what exactly was going on. And I mean, he seemed like he was a sweet boy. He seemed like they have a little cute, sweet relationship. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, leave a like to let me know you enjoyed. Subscribe if you'd like to become part of the Goblin Army family. And if you'd never like to miss a post, push that bell icon. Now, you try to spread positive vibes. I'll try to spread positive vibes. Until next time, I hope you have a Goblin-Tastic day. Bye!